Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Altenew live stream. I'm so happy that you are here today. I'm really excited. We have a great show and Amy's Inspiration Station for you today. And I am really excited to see what you think. We're going to be talking about the Craft to Flower Sunburst Azalea. And this is new. It was just released this week. And there are so many cool things that you can do with it. I'm going to be talking a little bit about blending and colors and foiling. We're going to be doing some foiling. Avril, how are you? The snow cleared up this morning, so it's a little bit nicer. Still not as nice as Ireland, but it's still nicer than it was this morning. So thank you so much for joining me on Amy's Inspiration Station with Altenew. Hi, Teresa. We have Mary behind the badge, so please give a huge shout out to Mary. And Mary's letting you know that if you share right now while we are live, that Altenew is having a live session on your social media, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. Hi, Sue. Hi, Johanna. Hi, Joan. Hi, everybody. Hey, Ann. It's so nice to see you all. Thank you so much, Joan, for sharing this on Facebook. Again, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew, and you might want to pick up the new Craft to Flower Sunburst Azalea, which just came out this week. It's a really nice, beautiful, bold flower. And we're going to be talking about what do you do with the Craft to Flower? Because you have these really nice, pretty flowers, but what the heck do you do with it? What can we put behind it? And I'm going to be talking about a little bit of foiling today. I am going to be doing foiling live, so I hope you have your fingers crossed for me that everything is going to turn out, but that's what we're going to do. Hi, Deborah from New Zealand. Thanks you so much, Teresa, for sharing. And I do have some highlights. It's finally spring, so they're kind of come out. Thank you so much, Avril. And thank you, Nancy, for being here from wonderful San Francisco, and Cece from Sweden, and Lynn and Kimberly. Thank you guys so much for being here today. And again, and Therese from Wellington. Thank you again so much for being here. If you share today's live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card. Hi, Judy from Altenew. And Dawn, yes, we're getting some better weather, Dawn from Albany, New York. We're getting a little bit of better weather. So I'm going to go ahead and turn down because I got a lot to do with you guys today. Hi, Jonna from Canada. And I'd love to know if you guys like Craft to Flower, or if you're like, oh, I kind of like stamping a little bit more than die cutting, and how you feel about foiling. I want to know the foiling. I want to know, this is something I'm scared about. This is something that like, oh, I'm ending up now foiling all the things. I know Altenew got some new foil plates, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at those. Hi, everybody. All right, so let me go ahead and turn my camera down and finding that setting. All right, so we are on my desk, and I am a little dark because I had to pull one of my lights away so I could get my foil thing in here. My foiling is right over on this side. Hi, Judy. Thank you so much for loving Altenew. I do as well. And Joni, this is one you're going to like. It's not a lot of things. And I agree with you, Dawn. Foiling, serious investment. And Avril, this might jump you on. And Teresa, so you have this Build-A-Flower, so I'm really excited to see what you think about what I'm doing with it today. So this is one of the cards that I made with this Build-A-Flower. And Kimberly, I'm so good. Yeah, I have to tell you, foiling my first attempt, not super great, but I'm getting a little bit better at it. And as you can see, I did not foil on this card, but I thought it would be something nice for us to do for today's Inspiration Station. And so this Craft to Flower Sunburst Azalea, it comes with these two flowers, and one is a little bit bigger and one's a little bit lighter. And you get all this like wicked cool dimension. Oh, my finger's in the way. Let me move that. You get all this really cool dimension, and that's without foam tape. There's no foam tape on these guys, except for my like sentiment. And so, but this one's really nice. So Teresa, I'm curious what you think about this, because there's just not, there's not too, and Joni, there's not a lot of pieces on this one. So they're pretty easy to put together. Now for this flower, what I did with it is I used the 4 Scoops ink set, and that's what I'm going to play around today. I feel like this set doesn't get a lot of love, Yeah, and Nancy, it's a lot. It's something that I resisted for a long time. And I just got my plates in like December, I think. And oh, Sue, oh good, your Easter cards. And yes, Teresa, these, so the 4 scoops ink set, I feel like it doesn't get a lot of love. So I wanted to pull that out. So we're going to work with that today. And so you can see the kind of the colors on the back there. And it's really nice. You have this yellow, the peach perfect, this cotton candy pink, and then you have this dark chocolate, or it's called, dark chocolate brown that's over on the side. So we're going to use that today. And I'm also going to bring in some cherry blossom inks because I feel like azaleas need to be in pink. And the simplicity of this set is very, very nice. Hi, Lorraine. And yeah, absolutely, Teresa. I feel like these just don't get a lot of love, this 4 scoop set. So for this card, what I did, it's a little hard to see, but I did a pretty graphic stencil in the background, and that's the alphabet stencil. And what I want to use today in order to kind of really set these off is I want to use a little bit of foiling. And so I'm going to keep these colors light so that foiling can shine through. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you all the pieces to the Craft-A-Flower, and we're going to cut them out and we're going to ink them up and we're going to foil some stuff. Yeah, this one, Joan, this one, I have to say, there's some Craft-A-Flowers that have a lot of pieces, and I have a little tough time. In fact, I think I need to pull the glasses out today. I had to upgrade, everybody. I have the glasses because I can't see well anymore. I don't know who else. Is anyone else team glasses out there? I need the glasses to see all the things now because it is not happening anymore for me. Oh boy. It's a little hard. All right, so I'm going to turn my mic here so you can hear me. And so let me show you what we have for Craft-A-Flower today. So I'm going to keep this up here just so you can kind of see it. And it comes with a lot of pieces. I die cut out one. I'm actually going to show you the second one. So I'm going to die cut the second one with you. So I'm going to bring in my ridiculously warped plates. And so what I like to do is I like to take just a piece of paper and I just cut it in half. So this is 6 inches wide. I think that's probably 8.5 down, or no, that's what, 8 inches down. And so that just fits on my plate. And all these pieces, I can fit them all on here. So the leaves that come with this set, they're just one piece. So for the leaves, you don't have a second piece. So we're going to use some ink in order to provide some definition. And that was my hot foil plate telling me that it is no longer waiting for me at all. So yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the team glasses out there. All right, thanks, guys. Team glasses. It's something new. I have to use them because otherwise, in fact, let me put them on my face so I know what I'm doing. Or else I can't see what I'm doing. So you have these large pieces right here. They're going to form the base of the flower. And then you have these detail layers that are right here. And so this is a detail layer that goes along with this one. And I'm just putting these on willy-nilly just to make sure that I fit them on. And then you have these like super duper detail pieces over here on the side. And then you have the anthers right over here as well. So let me get all these pieces on here and then I'm just going to run them through my die cut machine. And I don't need to, tape these down. These are going to run through fine. And I use a Gemini and these cut out like butter. So this is totally fine, but I'm just trying to find all the space. And again, I think this always shows like how great I love a Craft-A-Flower is when I can cut it out in one section and I don't have to worry about teeny tiny pieces and I don't have to name things and etc. All right, so everything fits right on my plate just to show you. So I got everything. I got all the pieces on my plate. So I got the leaves, back flowers, I have detail layers, second detail layers, and then I have the anthers right over there. So I'm going to run this through my Gemini. And that way I have 2 Craft-A-Flower pieces. And I'm going to try to keep all of those inside of my paper so I don't lose them. And if you've been with me before, you know that I always will start to lose pieces. So those always will happen for me. All right, I think I may not have had one come out. All right, so these are all of my pieces. So I'm going to move our dies over. And I am going to show you. So we're going to grab all these little things. And I think I had a piece that popped off my desk, but that's fine. We'll get that one later. But I have a big, huge void in my desk that somehow stuff likes to kind of hide into. I don't know who else has the void out there. Hashtag battling the void all the time. All right, I left a leaf off. There we go. All right, so there's all my pieces. I don't think so, Anne. I think I got all of them. They're all there. So we will take a look. All right, I'm going to put those to the side. And now I'm going to grab my pieces and pull them over here and put these other ones back in. And when I build a craft-a-flower, I like to use glue because I find it's a little bit easier to kind of put everything together. And I got to find where I left off that piece, but I will find it. All right, so I'm going to start with the base layers. There you are. And I'm going to use I think it's the softest color inside of the 4 scoop set. And that is the Peach Perfect. So this is kind of the way I'm going. Now there's 4 colors in my Peach Perfect set. Excuse me, in my 4 scoop set. And so I'm going to use Peach Perfect here. Then I'm going to go with Mango Smoothie and then Cotton Candy. And then I'm actually going to go in with Cotton Candy and dark chocolate. I'll show you how I do that. And then I'm going to end with the dark chocolate on the end. So I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to make that a little bit darker. So, oh, good. You know, Avril, I will definitely start booking a plane for Ireland, and I will come and collect all the stuff from my void that has ended up on your desk because it's definitely there. Oh, Dean, it's so nice to know foiling. Yeah, you have to definitely start looking for these things and seeing where they are in terms of like trying to find them and it's a little addictive once you kind of get into it and really start looking at it. Isn't that Peach Perfect gorgeous? Let's just take a moment to just wow, Peach Perfect. I really like the 4 scoop set. The first time that I saw it, I was like, why are you putting 4 colors that are not alike in the same exact color family together? And then once I started using them, I realized the brilliance of the 4 scoop set. And it's something I don't always pull for it, but that's why I wanted to show you guys right now. And if this like ink set, you're like, yeah, either I never knew what to do with it, or I just didn't really understand, or it's my favorite. Let me know in the comments. Let me know has the 4 scoops been on your radar? Just look at that peach, so pretty. So pretty. Oh, love it. All right, so that was our first layer. So then I'm going to grab the second layer. And the second layer, so you see that this little piece over here, that's part of the first layer. I'm going to grab that first. In fact, it announced itself to me beforehand. So that's this. So let me put some Peach Perfect on that. And then you have these pieces that are part of the detail layer. So there's 1, 2, and then this little tiny guy is 3. And we're going to do that one in the Mango Smoothie. So let me get this one in Peach Perfect before I move on. And just get that guy real good. So pretty. I love the softness of this. And then because we're going to have that bright foiling on the background, I think these are going to end up being really, really great. All right, so now I'm going to come in. So I'm going to move those 3 to the side. And then I'm going to come in with the detail layers. And I'm going to do these in Mango Smoothie. So let me know, is Azalea. Cheryl, really? That's so cool. Azalea City. Yeah, I love azaleas. We're almost here. I'm in New England. So it is almost time for azaleas to come out. They're right after forsythias for harbingers of spring here in New England, and we are almost there for them. All right, Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for joining us today. And if you share this live stream while we're here on social media, or while it is that we are live, let us know, and you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew, where you can pick up the 4 Scoops ink set because it is super nice. So this is Mango Smoothie, and it's just a beautiful, it's just a pretty yellow. And these colors are not available in any of the other ink sets. They're only available in the 4 Scoops ink set. And this to me is, I usually, when I have a craft-a-flower like this is probably the easiest way to get ink on it. The other thing I do is I end up watercoloring it, and that helps as well. And I'm going to build this as I go. So after I finish coloring these in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach them. And that way I won't lose any pieces. So I have my pieces in my paper that are ready to go, and then the pieces that I'm working on. So that way nothing falls in the void, Avril. So that way I make sure I have everything with me. So we're talking today craft-a-flower. I'd like to know, are you a craft-a-flower fan? Do you like die cutting or die cut flowers? And then I love these as well because they just show so much detail. And I know sometimes it's a little bit of, it's a lot of pieces, but I have some methods for keeping track of those pieces and making sure that they do not fall into the void. All right, so this is our 4 Scoops ink set. So I just did our base layer in Mango Smoothie, and then I did, I did our base layer in Peach Perfect, and then I did the next layer in Mango Smoothie. And then I'm going to grab my glue and I'm going to stick these together. Now, a couple of things for assembly on here is I'm going to follow this, and that's going to help me out. There is, of course, a layering guide on the back, and I know it's not exactly like full size on it, but yes, I'm with you, Dean. I can't resist the flowers, the hot foil flowers. And yes, oh, Anne, thank you so much, Joanne, for sharing this. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm angled up. So I kind of start looking for like little pieces that I'm like, how's that go? So I take my piece and I can see that I have a notch down here, and that matches up. Here's my notch here. And then I have this notch. So that's the orientation that I want. And then I look at the next piece and I want to line that up with that orientation. So that's all I'm doing is making sure my orientation's right. And then when I have that all set, I'm going to line these up as well. And all I'm doing is just looking at, okay, what makes the most sense for these? And there's just little guides I can, and if I'm like not super sure, I can take a look. Here is where they attach. Here is where they attach, and they connect to that outside, and right there is where they attach. So I can start looking and putting them down. And to be honest, if you get it off a smooch, it's really not a big deal because then you're artistic and you're making it your own. That's the other way that I see it. So either way, but I kind of, again, it's a guide, but feel free to kind of use these as you see fit. So I probably overglue. Is anybody else team overgluing out there? Or is it just me? Okay, there we go. I definitely need tweezers for this one. So I'm going to grab my tweezers, get my orientation right again. On the back, looking at my orientation. So this thing that looks like a chimney is going up this direction. And that one that looks like a flower is going over to the left. So I'm going to move these this way. And I'm just going to start to line them up. And I'm getting them in. And then the glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room. And that's what I do is I literally just pick it up and I'm trying to fit it right in. That looks pretty good. Oh, right there. Okay, that's where I want. And I want to go back here. There we go. All right, so now I got that side. That looks fairly good. And now I'm going to do this side. All right, so I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to look for orientation. That's my orientation. Here's my orientation this way. And then I'm going to grab this, overglue it, because I am team overglue. And then I'm going to attach this detail layer down to my base layer. And now I have 2 layers done. I'm not going to lose these pieces, and I'm good to go. And this one goes down So this little bottom part really cradles right in there. This one I found to be a little bit easier because it didn't have all those little finger projections coming off. And that one just fits right down on in there. And then this little piece is our last part, and that is going to fit right in there as well. I don't think I'm going to have time for that second one, guys. I was going to do this in Cherry Blossom just to show you like the difference in color, but I think I'm going to stick with this right now. All right, and that goes right on in there. And then if I have like a little fiddly guy like this, and he's not quite in there, or needs to kind of get a little bit of persuasion on him, then I just put my tweezers on him, and he's really glue eraser. I am using the Barely Arts glue. The Altenew one is really good too, but I like the tip on this one. And yes, glue eraser. That is my life as well. Oh, hi from Sweden. Hi, how are you doing? It's so nice. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you share this live while we're live on your social media, then you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew, where you could pick up the Craft a Flower Sunburst Azalea. All right, so now we're going to do our next layer, which is this like starburst looking pattern. So I'm going to pull out these two next. So that is this one, and that is this one. Now this other one comes in two little separate sections. So I'm going to do my best to grab him. All right, there we go. Now I got this guy. Okay, so now all of these I'm going to use cotton candy, and this is our 4 scoop set. And I am going to grab my mini blending brushes. These are really great for this as well, because you can get into like a lot of little areas. Just going to make sure that that's nice and clean. I obviously was using a little bit of purple there. I want to make sure that's off as I get into pink. Okay, I think that's clean. Yep, that looks clean. All right, so here's cotton candy. So I want this to be fairly dark, so I'm going to go over it a couple of times. And to make sure that this color is really coming through, because I want there to be separation from this in the mango smoothie. But don't forget, we're going to do another layer of cotton candy, so I don't want to go super dupery dark, but I want to go a little dark. All right. And I have to say, this Craft a Flower over other ones, I feel like it assembles and comes together quickly. And then the leaves don't have a detail layer, so we'll add that with our inking. But they do not have a detail layer. And that also will save you some time when you are putting these together. All right, so that's our little section. And this is the cotton candy. Can you see what a nice pink that is? And it works really well with the mango smoothie and the peach perfect. Super great. All right, here we go. All right, look at that. Okay, so now we're going to glue these guys together. And again, I'm going to do the same thing where I work on that orientation. So this one that looks more like a starfish, that's going to go on the big flower. So I'm looking right here again. So I'm going to take my flower and I'm going to make sure it's in the right orientation. And then my starfish is going to start up here. So there's a section on the starfish where his leg is broken. And that's this part right here. And the broken leg goes down here. So this kind of part goes a little bit in the middle, but the broken leg goes down in that section. And that's where it's going to end up. And I'm just using my guide. There's a little notch here that I can use. And then this is going to come over here. And then the broken leg goes right on that section. And then I bring this tiny guy. He's going to continue the leg over there. And that's a little hard to see. Oh, yeah, Kimberly, this is, it's really, really nice. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I have the super fancy dancy camera just so you can see what I'm doing here, because this is a little bit crazy. Hi, Christine. Thank you so much. And we have Mary behind the badge, so feel free to give her a shout out. She's doing a great job putting some links in there for us. So that way you can check these out on altenew.com. So again, I'm using the Craft of Flowers Sunburst Azalea. Super easy to put together. And we are inking it up with the 4 Scoops ink set, which is an ink set that I feel like does not get a lot of love. And I love it because it's got really these 4 different colors to it. And they go together absolutely perfectly. All right, so again, I'm putting this together. This is my starfish, and this is his little broken leg. And so this is the other notch that I'm lining it up there. And so as I put this down, I'm going to make sure that that broken leg goes right to that end. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tap him down so that glue has a place to adhere to. And then you got this little tiny guy. And so little tiny guy, you have to use tweezers. And we've got a little hashtag team glasses going on because I got to tell you guys, it's gotten to that time in my life where I have to wear them in order to see all the things because I definitely cannot see them anymore. Here we go. I was in a meeting the other day and somebody had a piece of paper. They handed it out to everybody and I couldn't read what was on the paper anymore. It's gotten to that time. So we got a little team glasses going on. So I appreciate solidarity, everybody. All right, so there's our little starfish. So it's down, and you can just see that nice soft color that's there. Yeah, this is great. Oh, and we're going to use I was going to use the Jewel Tones. Jewel Tone set is absolutely beautiful. That's definitely one. Wait for that ink sale to happen. That one is definitely one to pick up. All right, so I have my other flower. Again, I'm in the orientation, so I'm looking at my package. And I'm in this orientation, and you can see that this little bottom is going to cradle where that little bottom goes in. So he's going to go in there as well. So just to show you before I get the glue on, he's going to go right down in there, and that's going to go right on. So we're going to glue him in. And let me go ahead and put this in. And again, so easy to put together. I think it was Joni before who was asking her tiny pieces. I am not a fan of tiny pieces. They tend to get lost in the void that is my desk. And they go somewhere, and I don't know where they are, but they go somewhere. So I like these Craft of Flowers that have a lot of larger pieces to them. And they tend to be a little bit easier to work on. So I'm using glue when I attach these because then I have a little bit of play. So if I don't like exactly how that lines up, then I can move it around and make sure it's where I want it to be. So you can see how nice that comes out. And I just love this. Yeah, thank you. You're so welcome, Kimberly. If you guys have questions on these as well, let me know. I'm definitely checking the chat. If I don't answer it, just repeat it. And eventually I'm going to look up at my computer and take a look. All right, so we have our last 2 layers. So our next 2 layers are the anthers and the stamens. And so you can see right here that the back part of them is going to be the darkest. And then the front part is going to be, darker than what we've been doing, but a little bit on the lighter side. So I'm not going to switch ink colors. I'm not going to go to black. I'm not going to go to a darker pink. I'm going to show you how we can get, with these 4 scoops, how we can get those colors. So I'm going to show you all of these pieces, the anthers and the stamens, as I pop them out of my piece of paper. So I already die cut these. So I'm just popping these suckers out of here. And I can tell the anthers versus the stamens because what's going to happen is the ones that have the little dots on them, and I'll show you the difference in a second, those are going to be behind. And the only reason, like all this part down here, you're not going to see because all of that is going to be shown by the top layer. So you don't even need this layer, to be perfectly honest, but all that's going to be shown. So it's going to end up looking like this. So, but that back layer needs to be the darkest. So that's where we're going to use the milk chocolate. And I know it's that these are the anthers because I can see the top, and these don't have any little tiny tops on them. So this is the dark chocolate. Now the dark chocolate is, it's not a super dark brown. It's a chocolate brown. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's a chocolate brown. So I'm going to grab my blending brush. I'll just show you guys what this looks like. And I do want this to be really dark. So I'm going to sponge this on there. And you can see that nice chocolate color, but it is super, super nice. Oh my gosh, Christine, I got to tell you, lost socks. Oh, I can't stand it. The kids have started, I think it's a fashion trend, or it's just because I don't know where their other sock is, but they don't wear matching socks anymore. And I think they're just starting a fashion trend at this point in time. But I'm not super sure. So I'm making sure that those anthers, that the tops of these little guys, they're going to be the darkest part, because that's the part that's going to be showing through. So I'm just getting a lot of ink. I'm just going back and putting a ton of ink on these to get these as dark as possible. I don't care as much about where my finger is, because that's going to be covered up by the top layer of paper. This one had a little section that kind of came through, so I'm going to make sure this gets darker. But I want to make sure that those are really, really super dark. Love this dark chocolate. It's such a nice brown. Such a super nice brown. All right, so remember, I have a little dark chocolate on my guy here. And I think, oh no, I lost one. Oh, here it is. I use this one for cotton candy. So I'm going to keep that to the side for just a second. So I'm going to use cotton candy next to do the top, but I want to make this darker than the cotton candy I already put down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap this off just lightly, and I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to do a slight little bit of a darker brown on this. Just pick up some of that from my, just slightly darker brown. I'm not putting a lot on there. I'm just using what's left. And then I'm going to come in with my cotton candy, and now I'm going to bring pink over it. And so you're going to see pink, but it's going to have a little bit of a darker undertone. And that's how I can pull and get more out of this. If I want to have a little bit of a yellowy pink, then I could have put mango smoothie down, more of a peachy pink. Then I could have layered the peach perfect. But that way I have a little bit of difference. So even though I'm using the same colors, I have a little bit of differentiation from them. Yeah, I know. I can't believe you can buy like mismatched socks. Might as well just let them run through your washing machine and your dryer, and they'll be mismatched anyway. I know. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Diane, thank you so much for sharing. If you share this live stream while we're live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And you can purchase the Craft a Flower Sunburst Azalea if you don't have it yet. If you do have it, I hope this is giving you some inspiration for what to do, some ideas. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put these together. Pull those blending brushes out of there. And I'm going to add on just a little bit of glue. And I'm going to start with these. So these are the ones that go on top of this. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue. This is wicked hard here because this is a very small little spot. And of course, I'm team overglue. Really got to know that the glue, it's okay. It's okay that every single surface does not get glue. Gotta go back in. All right, so now I'm going to attach these on. And this goes on the tall one. And just to show you what these look like together. All right, and again, I'm gluing it, so that's going to give me a little bit of wiggle room. As you can see, team overgluers. Comes out a little bit, but that's okay. And I like that because you can see the pink. You can still see that cotton candy, but it's so nice. Oh, thank you so much, Anne. Thank you so much, Anne. I'm glad you're here. And thank you all for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. And Kelly and Kathy, thank you for sharing this. So I hope that we are inspiring some other people to take a look at Craft a Flower and 4 Scoops. And after this, we're going to put it all together and we're going to take a look at some foiling, and I'll talk about some foiling tips. And I am by no means an expert in foiling, so I'm appreciative of anybody out there who feels like foiling is their new calling, to share some tips. And I'm just going to kind of share the things that have been working for me. And I want to show off 2 products that I think, I agree, whoever somebody put in there like, oh, it's expensive. They are. But these, I always try to find products that I'm going to use in a couple of different ways. Just, oh, look how cute that is. And that's what I like to do. All right. So this one we're going to attach. So again, I'm going to look for that orientation according to here. And I'm going to attach this right smack in the middle, and it's going to stick up. So let me put some glue on that. And then this flower is all set, and we'll move on to the other flower. The other flower has one little stinky little bit of complication to it. And I'm going to show you what that is and how we work through it. But it also is really cool because it gives you some dimension to it too. All right, so here's my orientation. And then this guy goes right smack in the middle. And what I like about this, so I have it on glue, so I'm going to move him just slightly and just making sure that everything is kind of lining up and where it needs to be. All right, and then that is our little guy. And look at that dimension. Isn't he adorable? Look at him. All right, so I'm going to put him right there. He's going to chill. And now we're going to work on this one. So remember, this has 2 pieces to it. So we're going to start here, and we're going to connect our anthers and stamen. All right. And we're going to put this down. And this, again, in the same spot. That's what's nice about this second flower is it really, everything stems from that base. So it's actually relatively easy to figure out where this one lines up. And I'm just going to put it right here because that's where it goes. And this goes right along that line. All right, so that's going to go right there. So that's that guy. So he's all set. Now, what do we do with this piece? Well, this piece actually is representing a flower that's like curling up. So it actually goes right here. And isn't that cool how it kind of shows and hides in those stamens? So it just gives you this even more dimension to it. Thank you so much, Christine. Yes, you do, Kathy. You have to get it out of the box. I know. It took me, I tell you, I bought it and then I didn't look at it. And then I think I was forced to use it for some reason. And I took it out of the box, and I will show you what I did because I think all of you have overfoiled plates or put foiling on your plates. And that's what you've done. And I will show you that I have done that too. Oh, thanks, Avril. Thanks, Kay. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Jean. And yeah, these are so these are so cool, and I love how you can get dimension. And then if you want to cut this from, different colored paper, and you want to cut it from glitter paper or foiled paper, it's so cool what you can start to do with it. Now, just to let you know, I'm sticking it here, but it kind of has this little separation in this little space. So where it really goes is right there. So I want to move it a little bit, and then, but there's a little bit of space there. So because it's so many layers, I'm going to stick my tweezers on it. And so that's what it looks like. How gorgeous is that? And I want to put again, thanks, Sue, that this was 4 colors. And that's the beauty of the 4 scoop set, is that you have 4 colors that give you all of this. I mean, it's just so neat. And then you can take any one of them and put them together to get a different color. So now you can start to really see what all the kind of the different things that you can do. And that's what I like about the 4 scoop set. And like I said, when I started today, that it really doesn't get the love, because you start to look for like, oh, I want pinks, or I want purples, or I want something else. But this is just really a cool set. All right, so we have some leaves. So let me very, very quickly blend those leaves. And there's 3 leaves in this set. They do not have a detail layer to them. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to add some different colors. And I'm pulling in the Green Meadows set. And I like this set because it's got a little bit of mint to it. Oh, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks, Christine. It's I really do like this craft a flower. It is really cool. So I like this set because you get this like super dark green in the hunter green, but then you have this really soft mint. And so you can do a lot with these just by looking at this. And I think this is probably, I know it's called just green, but I think it's really just green. Like it is just a really pure green. And so I tend to go for this set quite a bit. All right, so while we're waiting, I'm going to make sure my foil machine is nice and warming up. And then I'm going to start out with the minty mint. And I'm just going to get this color down. And I'm nice and zoomed in so you guys can see what I'm doing. And when I look at leaves, I have a tendency to either make like one end or the other a little bit darker. And because these are like the way I'm going to end up putting them is like, so, you know, one end of them is under the flower. So that's the end that I want to be a little bit on the darker side because that's going to show the shadow. And that's where I'm going to put that darker color. So I'm going to get that minty mint all over. And then I'm actually going to jump over to the just green and the hunter green. And I'll show you what we can do with those. So I'm just getting some color right now on these. And let me get my third one here. And I like the fact that this is such a cool looking leaf. You know what I mean? Because it's supposed to look like it's curling under. And it's just a different shape versus just being like a oval. I like that one here. I thought this was a cool leaf when I saw it first. All right, so now that I have them all with a base layer of green. Oh, hi, Donna. Thank you so much for visiting with us and joining us and tuning in to Amy's Inspiration Station. We're playing with the Craft a Flower, and we are looking at a couple of different ink sets. All right, so this is the just green, so you can see how nice those start to look. And I just want to build this up just a little bit so it kind of goes towards the middle. So I'm still keeping that minty mint nice and light on the top, but I'm starting to put in a little bit of shadow. And so I'm going to add this one in as well. And I'm not going over the whole thing. I'm just kind of touching up that bottom, and I'm just going up with that ink. And then this one, the same thing, just a little bit of ink. I'm not like digging in there with it, but I just want to add a little bit of that. All right, so that's my leaves. And then I'm going to add just a little bit more dark. Oh, thank you so much, Donna. Thank you so much. Yes, Cece, this one I have to say, this if you don't have a craft a flower, this one is a good one to start with because it's just not a lot of pieces. All right, so you can see now, just to kind of show you the difference, just by adding that little bit of hunter green, you start to really see that dark. And these are going to be mostly stuck, you know, under, because they're adding to our flower. So it's okay. We don't want it to be perfect. There we go. That looks pretty good. So you get the shading between that hunter green, the just green, and the minty mint. And then those are really, really nice and pretty. All right. So I'm going to take a second to clean up my space. And then we're going to bring in, so now that you have all these pieces, so we got 2 flowers, we have some leaves. Now, what do I do when I put this onto a card front? And so I showed in my example when I started today that you can actually put a stencil behind this. And so I masked off and I used the alphabet stencil and I put that in. But I actually wanted to show you guys some things that you can do with the hot foiling plates. So let me get myself set up here. All right, so the two foils that I would probably, I think I tend up using the most, and I like to buy products that I use over and over and over again, but just use them in some different ways and some different combinations. And one of them is the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that way you can see the whole thing because I'm totally stuck into here. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. So this is the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate. And these are 4 separate plates that have these specific patterns to them. And you can either put them on and do like a double pattern. So they give you an example where this was actually done twice. So 1 and 2, and I'll show you how small these are. or you can do separate patterns and then connect them together. And these I really like because of their versatility, and they're really easy to use. So there's legit just 4 plates, 2, 3, and 4. And let me get an A2 size card so you can see what they look like. Need to get paper up here anyway. And so if you put one right in the middle, it looks super great. So we could add that. So you see, you just put like 1 flower on that, and that's going to look super great. We could take this and flip it. And let me get these 2 because these are a little bit more confetti-like. So I can take these and I can put 2 on a card, and then I have some 2 different patterns, and then I can add both of my flowers on there, and those will look really super nice as well. So the tiny patterns hot foil plate I like because there's a lot of versatility, and if I wanted to do 2, I can do 1 and then just foil it a second time and put the other pattern in there. The other thing that we're going to use today is something called the Sentiment Banners hot foil plate. And this comes with this die called Sentiment Banners cover die. So these are 2 separate pieces, but I would recommend that you buy them both. And what's nice about this is this will hot foil little sentiments, and it goes perfectly. Oh, packaging. It goes perfectly with the sentiment strips stamps. These will fit in perfectly. And I had some examples for you today to show you. We're also going to foil these, but I had some examples just to show you what they look like. And this is what they look like. So you have this really nice foil, and there's an embossed look. You can kind of see there's a little bit of height to that. And I just stamped that in black in the obsidian ink, and then you have this nice foil. And you have them in all these different sizes. And all you do is you can cut them out all at one time, and then they are ready to go on your desk. So I even got this little tiny one that says hugs. So the cover die will cut out all of these together all at one time. So we're going to use both of these today. And that is the die. So that will cut it out all together. All right. So let's go ahead and play around and see what we got. So like I said, I need a little bit of some fingers crossed out there because I've never done this live. And I'm still a novice at foiling. So any other, foiling tips, that'd be super great to have. One thing I will bring up is I'm going to take all my flowers. I'm going to put them over to the side over here because we're going to do a little foiling. And Mary, I apologize. I didn't put this on my list. And this one's a little bit older, but there's a stamping mat. We have a silicone mat on Altenew. This one's different because this one's an older one. This one's gridded. The one they have now is not gridded. But this, because it's silicone, is heat resistant to over 500 degrees because it's silicone. And so this silicone mat is great, and it's going to protect my work surface when I'm dealing with hot things. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to bring in now I have a Gemini machine, so I have a little foil press. And as you can see, you might not be able to see, I may have foiled my top plate as I was learning to experiment with this. So with the Gemini, I have this set to the lowest degrees heat because that's all it needs. And all this needs is 20. I sometimes will put it to like 30 seconds just as a double check, but 20 is fine. The book says 20. The book says 30. Excuse me, the book says 20. And then what I do on this is I'm going to start off with, and we'll do some tiny patterns. And what I want to do on tiny patterns is I will actually take these and I'm going to use like a whole piece of paper, and I'm just going to foil. No, I won't. I'm not going to do that today. On here, I'm going to foil just one of them. I think I'm just going to foil one of them. So I'm going to start by putting my square right smack dab where I want this to go. And I don't think I want to use, which one do I want to use? I want to use this one today. This is those stripes. I'm going to put that right there. So I want that to go. And then because I did like a I did kind of a neat looking champagne one. I got a bunch of different kinds of foils. I think I'm going to use this blue. I don't think I've used this one yet. Or maybe I have. I just got a new shipment of some different types of foils. I customized my plate. Yes, I did, Avril. I think you were there when I did that too. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to cut this down. So I need some scissors. And I'm just going to cut this down to size. And so let me just find that. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this right here. And this is going to go pretty side down. And if you guys see me making any egregious mistakes, please yell at me in the comments, okay? And it would look nice without the foiling. I totally agree, Kimberly. This is such a pretty thing, and it would look nice without the foiling. All right, so my little piece is right there. So then I'm going to put my cardstock on top of that. Now, there's one of two things. Normally, I do this on a bigger sheet, and then I just cut out the pieces. So I'm attempting something right now where I'm going to do my best to place this somewhat in the middle of my piece of card. So there we go. Now, for some reason, my machine seems to like it when I add in like a piece of paper, just as like a little shim. So I just take like a piece of white paper, like this is my kid's spelling test here. So I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to put it on, and it just likes it as a little shim. And then I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to hit the start button, and then we're ready to rock and roll. So it's going to count down 30 seconds. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to run that through my machine, and that will be all foiled up. And then what we're going to do is kind of set that aside, and then we're going to work on the sentiment banners. And I think I want to do this in the blue too, because I think that will be really cool. Hi, Cheryl from New Hampshire. I'm in right south of you in Massachusetts. So welcome from the Northeast Kingdom up here. I hope it's for you. All right, so it beeped at me telling me it's done. So I'm just going to grab it. Now I am grabbing it with bare hands because I like to play fast and loose with heat. And I'm just going to shove this in to my machine. And that pressure is going to put that foiling in. All right. And then what's nice is this machine is you don't, if it's not plugged in, it kind of turns itself on. It only works when the thingy's plugged in. All right, so I'm going to pull off the cover plate, pull off my kids' spelling words, and then I'm going to grab my paper. And that is my foiled little sheet. And that looks so pretty. And then here is my foil. Put that over on the side. And then here is my my foil plate. So let me take that off. Usually I wait for everything to cool down, but I'm playing a little fast and loose with this here. All right, so now, and again, we have silicone. Silicone can handle heat. So this is super cute. So we're going to end up putting that flower right on there and seeing how that looks. And I love that with the blue. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my, this is the Sentiment Banners Hut Foil Plate. I'm going to use the same blue again because I think those would be really cool to match. Oh, hello from Florida. Thank you. I know you guys are having nice weather down there. And I'm just going to do the same process again. Cut a piece of blue foil. This looks nice and silver. I should have done this in silver instead. And I'm going to place this pretty side down. And then I'm just going to grab a piece of A2 cardstock. And I'm just looking for right up in there. There we go. And I'm going to put my kids' spelling test and cover on there, start it, and we're ready to rock and roll. So now we're going to do the same thing. So what I like about this is just in a very small piece of time, we can take this flower, add it to this really nice shiny background. You can see how nice that, it's hard to tell in the light and everything, but we're going to get that done. So I am just going to wait, and then we'll roll this through, and then we're going to take the sentiment banners and we're going to cut those out. And what's nice is you can stamp them if you have a MISTI or if you have a stamping platform, you can get a ton of sentiments at one time. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Rolling this through. All right, so I'm all done with my little foil guy. Once I lift all this up and take this away. Oh, I hope that worked. I didn't move. I think it moved on me, guys. Oh, that did not work. Why didn't that work? What did I do, guys? It should work. All right, let me try that one more time. That's weird. That's weird, right? I knew that was going to happen to me on live. All right, let's try that one more time and then I'm going to give up. Gosh, it should have worked. Any ideas? Oh, Kimberly, yes. East coast of Florida, no complaints. Nope, you are in Florida. No complaints. All right, any foiling gurus out there? Why the heck did this not foil on me? Any ideas? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to try one more time and then I'm giving up. All right, one more time. Rolling through. All right, foiling gods, please work. All right, we did not work. All right, I got to figure that one out. We'll do that later. And I'm going to move this to the side. So let's take the one that did work over here. And so we have a little bit of foiling. And I'm going to pair this up with a couple of those leaves that we did before. So here's my card. I'm actually going to use the smaller guy here. And I'm going to grab one of those sentiments that I made the last time I did this. And we're going to blame that on the foiling. And I think this hugs would go absolutely adorable here. I'm just going to grab one of these leaves and just add that in. And then I have my hugs, which can go right somewhere over here. So let's go ahead and put this all together. So let me get my glue down. All right. I don't think so. No, I put the foil so it was pretty side down. And I did it exactly the way I did it before. So I don't know why the first thing foiled. It might, you know what it might be? I might have it on too low of a temperature. I'm going to check that out. So, all right. So I'm going to put this right down here. And again, these foil lines, you can see, I wish you guys were here with me in the studio here to see the shine that's in these foil lines. So pretty. Absolutely so pretty. All right. I'm going to add in my little leaf just for a little bit of green. And go ahead and stick that in. And again, this is from the Tiny Patterns hot foil plate. So there's like 4 different patterns, and I chose the one with the lines. So I'm just going to grab this. Since I still have that glue, I can just stick this right under there. And that's going to come right like that. And then I'm going to take my sentiment. I don't know if I like hugs. I think I like hello. The hugs. This is always the biggest choice for me, is like, what the heck fits and what sentiment do I want to do? This is what I take my time on. It's not even on anything else. It's hugs. All right, so I'm going to add hugs to this. And then go ahead and put this down. I'm just going to put it right under here, just so we get a little bit more shine. And then adding just a couple of enamel dots, and those would look absolutely adorable. So this is a very clean and simple card, but because you have that foil and shine and you have all the depth and dimension inside of that flower, that's what kind of makes this come together. And then that's my thanks for everything. That's the original card that we had. So I hope you guys, I'm right at 4:30, so I'm going to go ahead and come on up and say goodbye. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope that for tuning in to Amy's Inspiration Station. And I hope you got some great ideas. I'm going to work on that foiling and see what happened there. But I thank you so much. And thank you, huge shout out to Mary today, who was with me behind the badge. And thank you so much. If I'd love to see what you make, you can tag me on our Altenew fan Facebook group if you're on Altenew Facebook, and on our fan group. I'd love to see what you make, and let me know what you think about the 4 Scoops ink set and about the Craft to Flower Sunburst Azalea. So I just want to thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us today, and I hope you go out and craft your life. So thank you so much for your time today.